All right, we're going to talk about Florida's new Black History curriculum and why it is being criticized. Because guess what, guys? There's both sides to every story. And of course, slavery is yet another story, at least according to the state of Florida and its new curriculum. In the new curriculum in the state of Florida, you can no longer just teach that slavery was bad and leave it like that. You also need to explain to people that maybe slavery had some good sides. Like, and I shit you not, this is real, maybe black people learned valuable skills, like job skills, on the job site. That's right. So that's what's going on in Florida. Let's take a look. That's, that's going to be in the textbooks. Making, or rather ensuring, that everyone from Florida is at least 10% dumber than they were the prior generation. And Florida, goddamn, has a lot of dumb folks. No? So think about how fucking stupid they will be now. Think about that. Unimaginable.
Now to the growing controversy over Florida's new education standards after Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill called the Stop Woke Act last year. The changes include teaching middle schoolers that some enslaved people actually benefited from slavery because it taught them skills. Nancy Cordes is following all of this at the White House. Good morning, Nancy.
Thank God that finally someone is defending slavery. Words that I did not think I would say ever in my entire life. Holy fuck.
Good morning, John. Yes, this debate may have started in Florida, but it has now landed squarely in the middle of the presidential race.
I didn't do it, and I wasn't involved in it.
Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Little Rhonda. Are you scared, little Rhonda? Says he wasn't a part of this decision. That's not good leadership by little Rhonda.
To distance himself from the curriculum controversy, but it didn't work.
I didn't do it and I'm not involved in it are not the words of leadership.
Florida's new history teaching guidelines, approved last week, stem from a 2022 law. Governor DeSantis called the Stop Woke Act.
Governor DeSantis started this fire with the bill that he signed.
The new standards say Florida students should.
What's happening? Why are these fucking Republicans being so goddamn woke? I thought you wanted to take woke out. I thought you wanted to take woke out of schools. That's taking woke out of schools. Once again, yet another situation where Republicans like the way certain things sound, but don't like it in practice. Oh, we got to ban abortions. We got to ban abortions. Oh, no. Now the state of Florida is being sued by a woman who was forced to carry a pregnancy to term because the doctors did not want to risk going to jail for terminating an ectopic pregnancy. Oh, well, we didn't mean that. Whoa, what the fuck? Wait. Yes, you did. You fucking did. You did it from the jump, you fucking pieces of shit. This is exactly what you wanted to do. And now that it's actually coming to fruition, you're too much of a fucking cowardly bitch to turn around and be like, oh, what? What do you mean this is what's going on? That's crazy, dude. That's fucking nuts. You wanted exactly this. You wanted exactly this to happen, and now it's happening. But because people go, wait a minute, the fuck is happening here? I'm not a big fan of what's going on. I don't really like that. That's a little ridiculous. You have to turn around and say, oh, that wasn't what my intention was. What the fuck was your intention then? That was exactly your intention, you fucking asshole. That's what this is. When people talk about like, killing wokeness, this is what they're talking about. This is precisely what they're fucking talking about. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. Okay? Say what you fucking mean, bitch. Or was it? There was another one that I thought I quote tweeted, but I guess I did not. It was about Ron DeSantis with the Black Sun logo, which was actually a pretty good tweet. let me see if I can find it, and I'll show you. Okay. And for the record, Democrats do this shit too, and they're like, oh well, health insurance and healthcare is a right, not a privilege. It's like, no, you don't fucking mean that, you asshole. You literally don't mean that. You don't believe that. You don't mean that. You worked against it over and over again. You're just saying that. Fuck you. Oh, here. This is what I wanted to show you guys, okay? We covered this yesterday. Ron DeSantis had like a straight up Nazi logo in one of his videos. And I've thought long and hard about why he keeps doing shit like this. And I realize it's partially because or who these Nazi groypers are that are fans of Ron DeSantis and why they're not fans of Donald Trump. And I realize it's because these young Zoomer, super ultra racist groypers that are always on 4chan, always on Twitter, they have a little bit of say in the campaign. I think they were able to genuinely convince some other decision makers in the Ron DeSantis campaign that Donald Trump was elected due to memes or something. And that's part of the reason why they're able to make this kind of dumb shit on their dime, okay? And then get clapped up for it. This is a real thing that happened in the Ron DeSantis campaign. They made it seem like it was independently created, but it was certainly created by someone with links to the campaign itself. Okay? And it's not because Ron DeSantis himself is a fucking Nazi. He's not. He is a institutional Republican. Okay? He is supposed to be the less Nazi version of Donald Trump, the one that's controllable, right? By the Republican Party. So why does this keep happening? Well, it keeps happening because there are a lot of racist fucking losers, actual real life super fucking far right racists that are in his campaign. He's a Nazi, dude. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind. Guys, there is no distinction between what Ron DeSantis wants to do. The reason why I'm saying he's not personally a Nazi is because right now, the situation that I'm about to describe to you is the reason why he's not really a fucking Nazi. What does that mean? Because every single American that is the average Republican, conservative, racist person, oh my God, scared the fuck out of me. Holy shit. Oh, dude, you texted me 1 minute before you walked in. Oh my God, I almost had a heart attack. I didn't even fucking see your text message. You just walked in. Oh my God. No, it's Austin, chat. He came in just to take a piss. He's lying. He said he came here to say happy birthday, but I do have to pee. All right, go pee. How do I figure out if Kai has fleas? Flea comb, just look for him. I am. Anyway, here is what's important for people to understand. Ron DeSantis is a machine politician. Ron DeSantis is a machine politician. Okay? You need to understand something. I'm not kidding. Maybe she might have fleas, actually. I think I... All right. Happy birthday to me. Thank you for coming. Yes. Maybe. She was hanging out. I mean, they can. Check behind ears and booty, ears and rears. Yeah, I'm going to look. We will start getting bites at night if she has fleas. We'll see, but... Yeah. Put down a white sheet, have her sit, lay on it while you pet her belly. Since fleas like moist, wet parts, as you scratch her belly, look across her belly and her lady parts to see if they're there. Little obvious black flecks will be visible. Rub your hair against her. If you start feeling itchy, she has fleas. Smart.
Hi everybody, Nurse Jane here. We're here with my little friend Tonky today.
Problem is her fur is so long.
And how to check your animals for fleas and what to do if you find little nasty creepies and crawlies. So Tonky's going to be a very good puppy and sit for me. Good Tonky. So dogs and cats get fleas. They feed on the animal's blood, and you're blocking my beautiful face, Tonky. They feed on the animal's blood, and so you may see the live insects crawling around on your pet, but the adult fleas, so the bugs that you actually see, are only 5% of the population. The rest of the population is eggs and larvae, which you won't see with the naked eye. So I know. So Tonky can see his person out there, so he's a bit distracted. Tonky, sit on. So a lot of people go, oh, I've only found one flea. But unfortunately, that's only, like I said, the amount of adult fleas is only 5% of the total number of fleas. So unfortunately, there's not really much to do. There's not really such a thing as a single flea. So when you've got short-haired animals like little Tonky here, you'll often see the fleas, and you'll see the flea dirt.
Fuck. She has long hair, dude. This sucks. Bather with Dawn Dish Soap. If you sit and run through her fur, you'll find fleas, but it can be rough with long hairs. I highly recommend flea pills that last months. Not the ones that simply kill fleas or are topical. You keep up with it and you'll have virtually no worries about fleas. The irony is, she's normally so fucking itchy, and she hasn't been itchy today at all. Comb her, wipe the residue on a paper towel, and wet it. If you see red, that's the blood from the fleas. Get a wet cotton pad and move it around her in her fur. Flea dirt has blood in it, so the cotton pad will leave red spots. Is she not on heartworm preventative? Most are combined with flea meds. Yeah, she is. This soap or Vaseline. If you want to be extra, buy some Dilemacatus Earth from Chewy. Theomacaceous Earth. Freshwater dry food grade Diatomacaceous Earth. What the fuck is that? Don't use the pills. She's too young. They build resistance. Vet recommends starts using them later. I mean, I did give her pills before. The vet gave pills. I think I just need to take her to a vet. Diatomaceous. don't think I've ever had an issue like this. They're essentially microscopic seashells. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna fucking ask my vet. Get her a Sarah Stowe collar and be done. What is it, like a flea collar? What if I have fleas? What happens if I get fleas? Flea eggs can lay dormant for some long time. You'll have to get rid of them inside the home while treating her. Just don't use Nexstar, right? That's what people were saying. Doesn't have fleas, she's not even itching. Well, she itches a lot normally, so the fact that she's not itching today is rather weird. So I don't know why the fuck she's not itching today. Capstar is safe for puppies. I don't know what that is. I mean, Nexstar? Yeah, she's biting her ass, but she does it every fucking day. You know what I mean? Seresta? What is it? Guys, I'm already talking to my vet. I'm already literally texting my vet. Okay, let's get back to the little Rhonda situation.
Should be taught about the harsh conditions slaves endured, but also about how slaves developed skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit.
They're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life.
That comment drew a swift rebuke from fellow Republican presidential candidate Will Hurd, who tweeted, "Slavery wasn't a jobs program that taught beneficial skills. It was literally dehumanizing." NAACP President Derek Johnson.
We all must stand together as a nation to ensure we don't find ourselves going backwards, that we stand united as a country and not try to remake history.
Two of the authors of the guidelines say they proudly stand behind them and that they were, quote, developed using a methodical process within our work group.
They want to replace history with lies.
The nation's first Black and Asian American vice president traveled to Florida Friday to condemn the new standards in person.
I am deeply concerned. Because let's be clear, I do believe this is not only about the state of Florida. There is a national agenda afoot.
This is likely to come up again when Vice President Harris appears at a Latino conference in Chicago today. Governor Desantis is defending the new standards, saying they are probably the most robust African-American history standards in the country. Nancy?
Nancy, thank you. Breaking news overnight and what we are learning about the U.S. soldier in North Korean custody as tension escalates between China and Taiwan. Britt Clinnett is tracking it all for us. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning, Robin. Yeah, finally, some word on the mystery surrounding U.S. soldier Travis King, who crossed into North Korea last week. Talks are underway with Pyongyang. This morning, the UN command, which operates the DMZ, it said a conversation has begun with North Korea's military and that its primary concern is Private King's welfare. Now, North Korea is silent for now. In the past, Pyongyang has kind of used these defector cases as propaganda chips, but at the moment, we don't know his condition. We don't know his whereabouts. You'll remember that instead of boarding a plane to Texas, where he could have faced military punishment, Private King joined it.
I'm not done with the little Rhonda thing, okay? Hold on. There was another thing that I wanted to show you guys about. Oh, here's Jesse Waters defending little Rhonda.
He says this right here. This is well documented among historians. This is historical fact that slaves did develop skills while they were enslaved and then used those skills as blacksmiths, as in agriculture, tailoring, in the shipping business, to then use to benefit themselves and their families once they were freed. That's not controversial. And it actually speaks to the resilience and the aptitude of the enslaved African Americans who were at the time able to better themselves and able to...
Yeah, dude, totally. It's on-the-job training that they got, you know? Chattel slavery being described on such terms is not weird, you know? It's not bad, right? Insane. I mean, this is not a flea. This is not a flea thing, flea comb, but I ordered some. This is fucking nauseating and offensive. I feel like we're so far from the fucking plot with these politics and media personalities. They just can't say this shit. Mask off, and their base will nod. Yeah. Gutfeld also defended it. Nice.
It's weird. It's like the media wants you to believe the Osmond brothers came up with a curriculum, that it was all evil white people. It's actually, that's why they keep saying Floridians, because then you don't know what race it was. Again, though, I sound like a broken record. This is not a real story at all. This was completely made up. It was snippet journalism. Once again, she took one piece out of a huge thing and turned it into some kind of screed against racism and all this other stuff. It's not real. She sounded drunk, but I often sound drunk at times. You know what I hate most about this? That we all have to do the work that Kamala was supposed to do. So she comes out there, she lies, she did no preparation. What happens? Every fool like me this weekend has to like read the curriculum. I'm exhausted. I wanted to play. I wanted to hang out with my dog, but it.
Poor guy, dude. He has to do the work, man. He hates that. You know what I mean? He's just fuck. He has to put in the work, Sweaty, to make sure that the racism narrative is intact. Thanks, man. Thanks for this is keeping me up at night that Greg Gutfeld is out there doing the work that nobody else will do, which is defend the positives of slavery. Anyway, before I got so caught up in the possible flea situation, this statement from two of the people who work at Florida's new education standards on slavery. In it, they give several names of people who exemplify slaves who learned skills they applied to later in life. Let's go through the supposed truth on this list one by one. The first is Ned Cobb, who was listed as a blacksmith. Ned Cobb was a tenant farmer and activist who was born in 1885, 20 years after the emancipation of slaves. The second is Henry Blair, also listed as a blacksmith. There's no evidence Henry Blair was ever enslaved, and the fact that he could register patents is evidence he was not, in fact, ever enslaved. The third name is Lewis Latimer, who also listed as a blacksmith. Lewis's parents escaped slavery, obtained their freedom in Massachusetts, and eventually Lewis was born a free man in free Massachusetts. The fourth name is John Henry. So not only are they, she always scratches, chat, shut the fuck up. This is why I should not have even told you guys about this. The fourth name is John Henry, also listed as a blacksmith. Detailed facts about real John Henry are disputed. His status is principally a folk hero. Fifth name is James Fortin, listed as a shoemaker. He was a free-born African-American sailmaker, not shoemaker. The sixth name is Paul Cuffey, listed as a shoemaker. Paul was also born free, was a whaler. The seventh name is Betty Washington Lewis, listed as a shoemaker. Betty was the free white sister of George Washington, the first president of the United States, and a slave owner. The eighth name is Jupiter Hammond, listed as a fishing and shipping industry worker. Jupiter is the first name on the list so far who was actually a slave all his life and was a writer and a poet. If he worked in that industry, it was in that capacity. The ninth is John Chavis, listed as a fishing and shipping industry worker. He was free from birth, never enslaved, and worked as a minister and teacher. The 10th name is William Whipper. So not only are they fucking trying to create a narrative that, like, there were positive aspects to slavery, okay, which is already, like, objectively insane. They also did it by lying, because it's fucking ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous from the jump. And it's also not correct. It's incorrect information. It is ahistoric to already look for some kind of positive benefits to slavery, but then to do it in this way, where you also just fucking made up, falsely attributed to free black men the status of slavery, and just to make this false narrative stick is insane. Ball my pencil 50 22 22. Thank you for the 50 gifted subs. Allowing 50 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. I'm sorry, I don't have enough mental bandwidth right now to give you a fucking sexy ass segue, because I am all over the place with the situation at hand. But flat out revisionism is what's going on here. Exactly right, chatter. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it other than these people are fucking gross. They're disgusting. They're nasty freaks. This whole list is ridiculous, but this one's breaking me. The 13th name, James Thomas, listed as a tailor. This is a little bit more complicated. James was born a slave and had his freedom bought by his mother at age 6, but Tennessee law stipulated he would remain legally a slave until he left the state. He worked as an apprentice at a barbershop owned by another slave and eventually opened his own barbershop. He worked as a barber, eventually gained his real freedom, and then in his later years, he was a real estate investor. He was not a tailor. The 14th name is Mariah Carter, listed as a tailor. I cannot find any information on this one. The 12th name was Elizabeth Keckley, listed as a seamstress. Elizabeth was indeed a slave and learned how to be a seamstress while a slave, but it was her enslaved mother who taught her how to do that while her slavers raped her. Booker T. Washington. Booker was born in 1856. 9 years before the emancipation of slaves, he was illiterate throughout the entirety of his enslavement. He taught himself to read. So there's like famous examples that they just bastardize. But ultimately, remember, it is objectively a ridiculous notion and ridiculous assertion, okay? To say this anyway. There is, in fact, abundant evidence in their life stories, in fact, that new skills were much more readily acquired as they got their freedom. How you, Alex Lanfran, or any of your fellow ghouls look at yourself in the mirror when you wake up in the morning, I don't know. It's crazy. it's justifying slavery, but one step removed so you don't get immediately shit on. Yeah, it's trying to fight against, it's trying to do historical revisionism, not on direct terms that like, and not by saying like slavery was good, actually, you don't understand, but by masking it. And the reason why they do this is because they can't just say it outright, because nobody wants to be called a racist, okay? This is something that people fail to recognize, which is why I was talking about the DeSantis campaign, which it perfectly dovetails into. I think DeSantis' real problem isn't that just he's racist. It's that his campaign is racist in the same way that a really annoying teenager is. Your average xenophobic suburbanite dad looks at a Sun and Rad Wojak ad like his son crashed his car. A lot of people are arguing that your average 56-year-old Trump supporter isn't as racist as your average DeSantis supporting Zoomer. Arguably true, but that's not the point. Putting weird blood and soil shit in your ad smells. It's deeply uncool to the exact people you want to impress. And that's the precise point that a lot of people in the DeSantis campaign are either purposely just throwing aside or forgetting because they're too brain broken by being on 4chan and being on these like super groped up Discord circles. What do I mean by this? Every racist person will spend an incredible amount of time denying that they're fucking racist. And there are certain things that you do that make every racist person even understand that you're a gross racist of the nerdiest kind, of the nerdiest variety, and esoteric Nazi relics being put in your campaign ad is precisely that. That's it. You're not just a racist at that point. You're like a gross, nerdy racist. You're a nerd for racism. The worst kind of racist. You forgot that your main point here is supposed to be, oh, I'm not racist, because a lot of those racist people don't want to be called racist. There's a reason why Klansmen wore robes, okay? How do you fucking fail at that point? How do you not understand that? If you enjoy racism that much, how do you not get that people still don't want to be called a bad thing because racism is not seen as a good thing? It's still seen as a bad thing. Yet another circumstance where the DeSantis campaign is putting the cart before the horse. Okay? Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' administration rejects the African American AP course. The State Department of Education claims it does not comply with Florida law. No racist truly believes they're racist. Racism is a bad thing, and they don't think they're bad. Exactly. There are only very, very, very few people that will openly just be like, oh, I'm fucking racist. Like, openly admit that. You know what I mean? And they only do so in private circumstances. Because ultimately, due to social conditioning, people at least understand that, like, certain things are bad. Okay? Racism being one of those certain things. Do you get it? I mean, think about it. Segregation was sold to the American population and was defended by plenty of fucking white supremacist pieces of shit on the virtue of not being a segregation policy, but on separate but equal. That's marketing. It's like if the Republicans started campaigning on abortion policies by saying, I want women to fucking suffer for the crime of fucking out of wedlock. You're not going to say that because no matter how misogynistic people are, They still want to be sold that their idea is not rooted within harm to others, but instead for a positive note. That's why they say they're pro-life. They don't say that they're pro-forcibly carrying pregnancy is the term. They say they're pro-life. They care about the baby's life. It's very odd when you have a situation like this where you just openly forget what Americans look like. Even the most Nazi American will literally still cringe at Nazi rhetoric, okay? Americans are anti-Nazi. That's the one honorable war we fought and won, remember? That's why you're supposed to say the Democrats are the real Nazis. That's why you say the Democrats are the real racists. That's why you say the Democrats are the Klan, the KKK Radic Party. So, I don't know how the fuck you get to a point where your campaign is so fucking dominated by the most idiotic groypers. The most idiotic groypers that you let them run amok. And you have campaign flubs like this. Or no one is advising you not to go the distance on this like anti-woke legislation. So much so that it has it gets to a point where, you know, even regular old racist Americans turn around and say, okay, that's a bridge too far.
It does gross you out. I think I get grossed out when I see this because I imagine how much a better country we'd be if people didn't go on this.
I think these guys are missing the mark trying to defend DeSantis here. They're trying to do the lift for DeSantis by actively saying things like, oh, no, it's not like that. You guys are wrong. Okay? Oh, no, that's not what they meant. And also, it's normal. There is definitely some positives to slavery. Like, they're fucking stupid. They're being stupid.
This crazy, fake, we're a divided country BS. I think we need like a colorblind summer. You know, how much better everyone would feel if blacks didn't feel oppressed because the media told them to, and that they're
yeah, blacks immediately. Blacks! Yeah, they only feel oppressed because the media tells them to. Isn't that racist as fuck, by the way? Imagine being a black person, hearing this fucking asshat be like, yeah, you're too stupid to recognize that you're not oppressed, and you're too stupid, and you watch the media, and the media tells you you're oppressed, so you're too stupid to make up your own mind, and you fucking think that that's where it's coming from. It's not real. You just made it up in your own mind. Even that sentiment in and of itself is very clearly a fucking racist one. It's so stupid. Oh, black people can't make up their own minds about the oppression that they face in society, that they experience. It's very real every single fucking day. They only made it up in television, and they're not smart enough to recognize that it's just like they're being duped. Yeah. Yeah, next time you get pulled over by a cop who's like harassing the fuck out of you, okay, calling you boy and shit, remember that it's just the media that told you that that's actually a form of oppression. He just sees you as a fatherly figure. He's looking out for you. That's why he's calling you boy. Okay, that's why his hand is on his gun, because he wants to show you his cool service weapon. Not because he's terrified of you, not because that cop might have been duped by the media into believing that you are violent due to the color of your skin, okay? But it's the other way around, as a matter of fact. It's just that guy is he's being nice. He wants to show you his cool toy. He's like, oh, come on. Come check out my service weapon.
Their coworkers and their classmates weren't seen as oppressors because they happened to be white. That would be really nice. This was not the administration we were promised. It's weird. It's like,
yeah, it's hot labor summer, but for the Republican Party, it's hot racist summer. But that's every summer. And just like the climate reaching record highs, their racism is reaching record highs as well. What do I mean by this? Well, let's take a look at this Jason Aldean controversy. I am not super familiar